Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, you know there's just 185 days until Christmas 2022. Oh my goodness. I am so happy to be with you all here today to talk about some Star Wars. Now, Melon is being a little bit funny on me. I try to bring up the chat and there's nothing there. So I'm going to hit refresh. We'll see what happens. I may disappear. I may be right back, but I'm going to try to get this to working. Okay, I'm back. Are you still here? Oh no, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going to go ahead and open the YouTube. Melon, you're being. Oh, there we go. Now we have it. Now we have it in the chat. I can see you all. Leia, happy Ray Palpatine Skywalker Day to you too, my friend. So good to see you here. And Robin, good to see you as well. The community, everyone, it's great to see you all here today. I did catch the Den of Nerds live this morning. Would listen to the first part of that until he got to the Q&A. And then I was getting ready. We've got some stuff going on here. Oh no, let's see. We'll see if this works or not because we didn't get to do a sound test. So Imagic Maker just called in on Skype, and we're going to try it. It may or may not work. We did not get to do the sound check, so I'm worried. I'm worried it's not going to work. I'm worried that the sound isn't going to be there. But let's try it. Imagic Maker, can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me? And let's see. Let's see if he can hear. Hello, hello. Nope. Hello, hello. There he is.
Hello.
Now, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
We didn't get to do a sound check, so I have no idea. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Hey out there, and everybody hear me. Hello there.
Okay, I think that it's working, and I hope that you're very low again. I just turned it up, so and I do have it working right there now. So I think that we've increased your volume. Try again.
Okay, good. Do you have me in the right feed this time?
Yeah, you're really loud in my earphone. So when I hit the volume, it comes up. Yeah, they said they can hear you.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, so I've got you as loud as I can make it. And again, we need to do some more audio tests because I'm worried about echo. And I realized last week that you couldn't hear Meg when she was talking because it wasn't going through the feed to you. And I'm worried about that happening again today. So when we get to the community part of it, we may have to let you dip and chat with folks because you'll just be out of the loop. You won't know what's going on. So we'll try that. But so anyhow, here we are again. Do you have Zoom? It's better than Melon. Community, I do have Zoom, but Melon allows us to do the live stream to YouTube. Zoom does not have a direct feed to YouTube to live stream. If I could host in Zoom and interact with the chat and do all of this directly, and I would do that. But we've got to get a Magic Maker in because correct me if I'm wrong. You're using your cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what that does is the difference between a Magic Maker using his cell phone and like Meg, when she dials in, she uses her computer. And so she's able to use like OBS, and OBS allows her to put up a graphic that a Magic Maker can't do. So we've got him in Skype. It works better than using Melon from that. So there we go. Hey, let's get caught up on a few things here real quick. We kind of went sideways because we didn't get to do the audio test beforehand. But let's see if we can start off.
Darn work getting in the way.
Well, I know, and just a couple of notes here that we are headed to Orlando on Saturday. So today's Thursday, just 2 days until we depart and take our way down to Orlando. We will be at Galaxy's Edge and Disney World next Thursday. So 1 week from today, we'll be at Galaxy's Edge. We're trying to plan to meet up with some folks while we're down there. We're also going to be spending the week primarily down at Universal Studios. It's a trip for our daughter. She's a big Potterhead. We'll be spending almost every day at Universal. And if any of you are in the Orlando area, you'd like to come to Universal and meet up with us, or you'd like to meet us in Galaxy's Edge, or we'll be going to Disney Springs for dinner. I think Thursday evening. So anybody
that works for me.
Yeah,
I'll see you there, unless we meet you at other places where we can chit chat.
Yeah, we'll try. But I just let folks know we're headed down that way. We are planning to meet somebody for breakfast Sunday morning on our way down as we get to Florida as well. So that's happening as well. So that also means that there'll be no live streams next week. I'll be in Universal. We'll be on vacation with our family, and I may get and do a couple of live from Universal or live from Disney World, just a short little clip to say hi to folks, but no regular live streams. Okay, so
you know what's funny is that we're not doing a live stream, but we're both going to be in the same place at the same time.
We are, but it's I try to keep my family time, and
no, I'm with you.
So most people know I don't typically do live streams in the evening. And I don't typically do live streams on weekends. That's family time. And when I'm on vacation, I try not to as well. And every now and then, I've got on and done a live stream, like when Star Wars Theory was doing his Nerd Theory community and had several of us on there. I had the opportunity to go on Star Wars Theory's live stream a few times. And I was on vacation every single time, and and my wife got mad every single time. So it's one of those things I really got to be careful about. Oh, Meg, you're being ornery again. So in any event, we do have a fan film to go through before we get into the whole deal here on the conclusion to Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Kenobi series and all of that. So before we go sideways, which is something that happens if we're not careful, I need to bring this up and get it ready here just so everybody can see where we are. Here we go. I'll share this. So this week we're looking at a fan film by Corridor. They have 9.5 million subscribers, right?
Yeah. So they have plenty of subscribers, but it's funny.
No, right? They're three. Just for context, that's about 3 times larger than Theory, which is the largest Star Wars channel on YouTube. So outside of Star Wars' official account, but they're right there. But 9.5 million subscribers, and this already has 5.2 million views. 5.2 million views, and it just was.
So you're not really helping out the little guy, but this will definitely give you a good laugh.
Yeah, this is absolutely not helping out the little guy at all. But again, it's I think a decent sense of humor. These guys, what they've created here is kind of funny. And again, we're not going to really spend too much time on this, but it is fan film Thursdays. We always want to cover some fan film, some fan fiction, and it's important to, I think, the community as a whole, especially as we have some people coming out of Kenobi less than fully satisfied. Right? Maybe they got a little snack, maybe they got a little treat, but they're still hungry for some content. And I know, like Josh Lucas and Star Wars Theory, I'm almost certain that Thor Skywalker as well will be creating their own versions of the story in a fan film kind of a manner. So we'll have that coming soon, and I think that's an important way for the fandom to be able to do those things. So we'll play this in the background. I'm gonna mute it. I'm getting some clicking noise on your line there, Magic Maker. Not sure.
Oh, really?
Not sure what's going on there. But
it's probably me clicking on the mouse.
Oh, okay. So
Is this it?
This is it. We're watching it. Again, this is very. It's all for comedy, right? All for comedy. It's not. Even internally, it doesn't necessarily line up.
No.
But
it's funny, and the point, I think people need laughter at something they love right now.
Sure.
I think there's two. If the group that likes what's going on and the group that doesn't like what's going on can all laugh at something together, I think that makes it better.
Yeah, and it's just not taking something too seriously. That's a good.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
It's good advice for us as individuals, and it's good as fans of a thing, not to get too and not take something too seriously. And this reminds me of the Mishi kind of stuff, like how it should have ended. And what's the other one that's out there I saw this week that's just hilarious, and it's just a ton of fun to watch. So as it gets the same deal here, Stormtroopers, they get a little ocular correction at the very beginning.
Yep, and it leads to a ton of changes in the story because they can now shoot.
they can now shoot, and they kill everybody, even when they don't mean to kill somebody. And hey, I need to just mention the stash, right? Han Solo's stash, hilarious. All of it's good. All of it's good.
That mouth Wookiee's not going to save you.
No. So they tie in everything here. It's silliness. It's silliness, and it's fun. So I thought. This is fun to share with everybody. Here it's a little meta. It says, hey, I hear there's a little dude inside of R2. I think I can meet him, right? Like, it's very funny, very funny. So, you guys, the link to this is the link to this is in the description here, and you guys can go find it. Again, it's probably on most of your feeds anyway. With the number of 9.5 million subscribers and over 5 million views, you guys have probably already seen this, or at least it's in your feed. You can find it there. It's good fun. It's good fun.
Yes.
So
you'll enjoy it. You'll get a good laugh out of it, which you should.
And I can't quite tell if this was Unreal Engine or some other technology they used, but it's still good fun. Still good fun. I did send out just prior to about an hour ago on Discord, in YouTube, and in Patreon the link to join to the community discussion of Kenobi, and this is a chance for all of you to kind of express your thoughts. So. We've started doing that on Thursdays. We do the fan film review, give you guys a fan film to go support, and then we talk about whatever is in the news for Star Wars. Now, this is the last week of new content for a little while. That we have the Lego Star Wars summer special coming out in August, so a little over a month and a half before we ever get before we get our next bit of new Star Wars content, and then following right on the heels of that comes Andor, and we get 12 weeks of new content there. So and Bad Batch and so on and so forth. So but for the next month or so, what we'll do is we'll open up this community stream for you guys to come in and talk about any Star Wars related topic you'd like to talk about. And that will be fun. The other thing is I've begun to create a discussion thread in Patreon for all of our Patreon supporters, and you can join there for as little as $1 a month. You can respond in that text stream as if it were a super chat. And we do have one to start off with. And again, before we get to the Kenobi stuff, and then it's all done. It's let me bring this up just so you get an idea of what this Patreon looks like. There's the Patreon page, and you go down. There's the Patreon only live stream questions, and a Ducky Momo here again, giving a good example of folks how to do this. There's a question here. It says, some irresponsible speculation for you. Reva joins Crimson Dawn. It's why we never hear about her in the OT. It's on brand for her not liking Vader, and it'll be how they give her new stories post-OT. I love that, Ducky, because at Crimson Dawn, of course, that's where Kira went from Solo, and there is a whole comic series exploring what happens there. And then we get like Black Chrysanthemum in there. There's all kinds of characters that are possible to be added from the Crimson Dawn run. And if she was to become part of that, I think it could work. I think it could work great. So good one, Ducky. Good one. And speaking of Ducky, you'll see our season winner for the predictions, Ducky Momo with 113.
No.
Yes, he's the only one. He's the only one that beat me. So I sent him some Star Wars Santa merch yesterday. I gifted it to him, and that's on its way. Who knows when it'll get there, because I do it all through Streamlabs, and my merch store is the Streamlabs merch store, and they're running behind on making stuff. So eventually Ducky will get his Star Wars Santa merch. But congratulations to the duck. It continues to be duck hunting season. Somebody needs to take him off the board. So yeah, that's Ducky Momo, and a great community member. And you'll see
I have a feeling that he does 20 of them.
20. No.
Time, and that's how he gets it, so that one of them is like perfect.
There's this theory that he does work for Lucasfilm, and he secretly is winning because he knows the story before it comes out, and he knows all the answers, and he just tries to make it look good by missing a few, right? So that's hilarious, Nikki. That's perfect. And we did get a super chat here from Matthew Cruz. By the way, I just sent a package to you, Matthew. So, Matthew, do you think Kenobi beating Vader without help and before seeing Qui-Gon for guidance was believable? Ahsoka, Yoda, Mace helping would have been great. So I'm going to keep this up. We'll answer it here in a moment. But before we do, Imagic Maker, what are your thoughts on Chapter 6? And then now that you've had the full series, I know you've been kind of putting a pause on how you would look at the series as a whole. Have you come to that? You still need to do another rewatch. So where are you on?
I'm gonna rewatch it, but I think I have a preliminary view as of right now.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
So preliminarily, it's about a 5. That's what I've come into
on the series,
maybe,
or on the
on the series.
Okay.
I actually really hated this finale, and the stinker for me was when my daughter, about 3/4 in, audibly laughed at something that should have been serious, and I went, "Oh gosh!" I looked over at her and I realized that something was wrong. Not that I wasn't also, not also wasn't kind of at a shock too, but it told me that it wasn't reaching the target audience either. And so I was like, uh-oh. And so I had my reasonings, but then I turned to her and I said, "Why are you laughing?" She's like, "That's ridiculous. Now we have Obi Ray."
Oh, the rock scene.
Yeah.
I loved it. And we talked about a little bit yesterday, of course. But that's a consistency with Star Wars, is that there's power-ups throughout. from one movie to the next. And whether that movie's before the last movie or after the last movie, there's always a power up. And it's happened from the beginning, and it's consistent. That it happens here doesn't bother me in the least bit. In fact, what it does, and to folks who don't like Rey lifting all those rocks, it makes it more common, right? So Obi-Wan did it. We may see lots of people do it before Rey does it. There's a lot of time to pass.
I get it.
So,
it just, to me, it's dropping consistency in the movies, and I'm having issues with it. And like I said, sometimes I either come to terms with it and like it more, or sometimes I'm like, yeah, no. And so we'll see where I'm at in a couple of weeks after I have a chance to rewatch it and let it gel inside my mind.
Yeah, well, it's something that you and I both share from the prequel trilogy criticism, is that they did that in the prequel trilogy as well, and it's been a little thorn in my side since. Right, it's always has been, but it's something that I've come more to terms with and accepted more. And so, that Vader's powers seem to be, I think the term I saw, nerfed. That Kenobi's powers are nerfed. Yes. I'm okay with that. I really am. I really am. So, the show,
my whole thought process after I ended that thing was like, everybody should be dead. There should be nobody still alive.
Why? Why so?
I was like, Vader should have totally killed Kenobi when he had the chance. There's no way that should have been allowed to happen. There's no way Vader should still be alive. Kenobi should have totally killed him. Leia should totally be dead. They should have tracked that ship down with send out fighters and track that ship down. Every one of those people on that ship without a hyperdrive should be. Well, I know they're working on it, but all those people should have been. They should have launched fighters, totally disabled or destroyed it. And I was like, so Leia should be dead, and then Reva should never even been after Luke for that matter, unless she wanted revenge against Kenobi, because that didn't make any sense either. Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this, and that's where the whole thing is falling apart for me.
Yeah.
And if she was able to figure it out, which I don't know how she magically figured it out, but she managed to. That he was Vader's son. There's no way she should have let him live.
I got to go back and rewatch that, because I keep hearing people say that she figured out he was Vader's son. I didn't catch that. The only thing I caught was the message from Bail. Again, I've got to go back and rewatch it. I do.
That's exactly. She sees the thing, and then she says, that she wants revenge.
On who?
And she's referring to. She's clearly not referring to Obi-Wan. She's referring to Vader. So that's
perhaps.
That's how
perhaps
that's
I'm not sure.
Implied, let's say that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's implied that way.
I've got to go back and watch it and to make sure, because when I saw it, she was still just mad at everybody, and I wasn't sure that she was inferring that she thought he was Vader's son.
She's not thinking he's Obi-Wan's son.
But she knows
she doesn't think that he's Owen's son.
But she knows he's important.
She literally says, "You love him like he's your own." That's what Meg just wrote, and that's true.
Yeah. But she knows he's important. But does she know anything else? Like, she knows that he was noted in that message from Bail, right? Bail says something to the effect of Tatooine, something to the effect of Owen Lars and a boy.
Yeah,
that's all.
I get you.
All I know, that's all she knows.
She clearly implies that she knows it's Vader's son. Implies that.
See, that's what I don't get. And again, I got to go back and rewatch it, because I've watched this episode twice, and it's not in this one. So is it in was it in episode 5? Where was it implied that she knows that he's Vader's son? I don't get that at all anywhere. And so,
right. Why would, then what's her motivation?
Well, it has to come from that message from Bail.
Sure. Okay.
That's it.
It comes from the message from Bail. I get you.
That's it.
So what's the motivation? Why would she want to kill Luke?
Well, because that message from Bail. The end. That's it. He's important.
Okay, so
There's a note from Bale saying, "Hey, there's a boy, Owen Lars, Tatooine." That's it.
right. So what's her motivation?
That's it. That is it.
So she has a message. So she's going to kill some kid because he's important.
That's all I know. That's all I know. Again, I've got to go back and watch again because I don't have any other context or any other
That's
information.
That's exactly what you're right. That's all the information she has. But then she comes to Owen and says, "You love him like he's your own," implying that it's not, that she knows it's not, that the boy is not Owen's.
Right, but she also knows that that the message came to Bale or to Obi-Wan from Bale.
Sure.
And she captured. Why did she capture Leia? Did she capture Leia because she thought Leia was Anakin's daughter?
Well, she captured Leia because she knows Obi-Wan worked with Bale, according to the story.
Yeah, and so
not
what?
That she didn't know that it was Anakin's daughter.
Right. And so what?
So she's trying to draw out Obi-Wan so she can kill Vader.
Okay.
Right. That's her motivation in the story.
So
Leia
is important, and that's why she.
So why go kill Luke?
For the same reason she captured. For the same reason she captured Leia.
To draw out Obi-Wan.
At this point, it's not to draw out. She failed in killing Vader, and now she just wants to exact some sort of revenge or punishment or exact her anger against somebody. Leia is out of the picture because she's already been rescued. She's gone, whatever. But so she doesn't have access to go kill Leia. But this boy she knows of, she can go kill him.
So why is she trying to kill Luke? Is that revenge on Obi-Wan?
Presumably, which would be, or Bale. It's hard. I don't know. I don't tell me why. Right? And I do not think that she knows that Luke is Anakin's son. Just as she doesn't know that Leia is Anakin's daughter. She doesn't know either. And so when I hear people say that, well, how does she know that Luke was Anakin's son? I don't know that she does.
I think she clearly implies it.
Well, that's what I've got to figure out. So Darth Chaos says, the hologram says it's his child. It's his child, that it's Anakin's child. That's part of. I got to go back and rewatch that. Right, and that's what I've got to catch because I can't remember the exact context.
I don't remember it saying exactly that. It says the boy and Owen.
Right, the boy and Owen and Tatooine. That's all I remember, and I don't remember that it says that that it was Anakin's son or Vader's son or Obi-Wan's son or anybody else's son. Right, so I don't know if she has that information. I don't know that she knows anything, and she's going to somehow go to kill him, and it's implied in there that she's doing it to get I don't know if revenge is the right word for all of her friends that were killed. She was going to kill Vader to compensate for that. And since she couldn't kill Vader, she was going to kill Luke. Now, does that mean...
Right, and she says she couldn't do it.
She doesn't know...
Right, she just becomes...
Well, she couldn't kill Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said I couldn't do it...
Anyway, I think she knew it. I think it implies that she knew.
Yeah, so I don't know that it does. And that's what I'm struggling with, right? And when I hear people say that she knows that, how does she know that? I'm like, I don't think the story told us that she knows that.
Yeah, I won't say that she knows it 100%, but I think she's highly suspect of that. That's what she thinks.
Yeah. So there, Star Wars Dog says, it says if he finds out, he'll go to Tatooine for the boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know that she's made the connection that it's Anakin's son or that it's Vader's son. It's a boy that's important to Bail and to Kenobi.
Uh-huh. And if Vader finds out, he'll go to
there
for the boy.
So
I think she highly suspects that it's his son.
That's an important person. Mm-hmm. That's all I know. She just knows that. No, I mean that the boy is an important person
for the boy. I mean, and that he would.
Why?
I mean, I think that it's implying that information, and that she makes the leap that that's his son.
Vader's Lair. Hey, our friend Sheev the Wise is in the chat. He says, "I think the fact Bale says the children is what we're missing here." Okay, that's what I got to go back. Right. So I got to go back and look. So to really see if I'm convinced that she knew the boy was Anakin's son. Otherwise, I don't have any evidence showing me that, and I've yet to see any evidence showing me that. And when I hear people say that, I'm like, I reject your premise. I reject your premise because I don't see the proof of it. I don't see any evidence of it, and that people make that assumption. That's an assumption. That's some sort of mental gymnastics that you've done that I don't know, right? And it's not given to me in the story. Let's go back here to Matthew Cruz.
Even without that, that's just one character. All I'm saying that every character that matters short of Luke should be dead. Then even without that.
Well,
Vader should have killed Obi-Wan when he had the opportunity.
Well, they should have shot the escape pod in A New Hope, and that would have ended everything. it's the Mishi endings, right? It's the same thing, right? And why they didn't shoot the escape? Oh, don't shoot that one. He shot all the other ones. Don't shoot that one. Awful convenient.
They specifically said that.
I know
that one, but they give you a reason.
I know, but it's a convenience, right? It's a story convenience, which is fine. Which is fine. You just have to accept it.
They say that it's a malfunctioning one, so.
But still, why wouldn't you shoot it? You're limited on bullets. You're limited on lasers. Is there any reason not to shoot it?
We don't know.
Right. It's just a thing, right? So I don't make that an importance that because it's just a thing.
It's accepting everything. That's what it comes down to.
Essentially. Matthew Cruz, do you think Kenobi beating Vader without help and before seeing Qui-Gon for guidance was believable? Yeah, I do. We'd seen in Chapter 5 them both remembering the duel and going through it. We know that Kenobi was reconnecting to the Force, and that his connection to the Force was strengthening, and that he goes and beats Vader without help is akin to that same training session they had back when, and he beat him then too. And there's another part. And I saw Star Wars Theory break it down again that Vader, that suit is an instrument of torture. It doesn't free him up to be extra powerful. It inflicts pain upon him to ensure that he leans into the dark side, right? So it limits his movement, it limits his power, it limits his abilities. So that Kenobi can beat him in that state does not surprise me at all. Ahsoka, Yoda, Mace helping would have been great. I agree. I agree, but it's just not, right? They're just not. And then I got to go catch anything on that before I catch Nikki's super chat. And Nikki, you know how to reach me without a super chat too, by the way. Nikki's a good friend. You can DM me anytime you want, Nikki. It says, no matter whose son she thinks it is, why would Obi-Wan let her go? Why not even question her about it? It's a plot hole, and that's honest truth. So how do you feel about him letting her go?
No matter what side you come down on, at some point, Reva should have been dead. Reva should have never been allowed to live. While we're getting this stab through, I mean, we haven't seen somebody cut in half since Snoke. And that was because somebody wanted to directly kill the person. So
that stormtrooper that fell on the gate got cut in half. So we did see that.
But no lightsaber has done it. No lightsaber has done it. I mean, we don't. Lightsabers should be chopping limbs off and we saw one hand get chopped off. So we know they know how to do it. But what happens is, Obi-Wan's doing love taps on stormtroopers, and we have everybody's getting stabbed through the gut, and everybody seems to live from it. I mean, it's like,
well, they established
unless you're quick Qui-Gon, then of course
exactly. They kind of unwrap that with Maul, right? You slice him in half, and he still lives. So what's a little gut wound,
So
and,
yeah, so since you know that,
since Maul,
since you're Anakin, and you know that a gut stab, even getting sliced in half is not going to kill you, and the only time that you have seen really a Sith Lord or anybody who has the Force die has been when their head is removed. And Vader had two sabers. He would have just removed her head.
Well, maybe,
and it would have been done.
Maybe the question that you put in my head is about since Maul, has anybody died from a gut wound? Since Maul, right? So we know in Phantom Menace that Qui-Gon died, and then Maul was chopped in half.
Right.
But then after that, Lucas retconned it and said, I want him brought back to life, and they had to figure it out. Since that, has anybody died from a gut wound? And I'm trying to remember. I think when in Rebels, when Obi-Wan and Maul duel, that's how Maul dies.
Right.
But
it's definitely a slice down the middle, because he does the full slice up the middle. He just doesn't cut his face in half. It doesn't fully go through.
So, but no gut stab. Has a gut stab killed a lightsaber gut stab killed anybody since Qui-Gon? Like timeline wise, not in universe, but since that episode.
I'm trying to think. I think maybe some people in Jedi in Clone Wars. Maybe when I think Savage stabs. I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah,
Masters. That's with through the gut.
There is this scene where Ventress comes up behind the one pilot and shoots up through the back of the seat and through him.
Oh yeah.
that took him out.
I think there's a couple times in Clone Wars.
Yeah, there's a couple times, but but they did put some context into why that gut stab didn't kill her. Now, which is they explained that. That's in the story. Why he didn't chop her head off, why he didn't kill her is an unanswered question. But it's not. That's separate from the story that we had, right? Like she was stabbed, she didn't die. That was explained. Why he didn't cut her head off. And we also know why Obi-Wan didn't kill Vader in the episode. That was given to us as well. Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to kill him, right? And that's what essentially is the case. He didn't want to kill him.
We're going to leave him to go and kill tens of millions of other people because I don't want to kill him.
Well, same thing, right?
Whatever.
Right. I mean, but it was given to us like he doesn't want to kill him.
I will do what I must. Twice. I will do what I must.
I know, but at the same time, there was the discussion.
It doesn't make any sense. It's dumb.
Well,
it's stupid.
Well, in the discussion, it was flat out stated like you don't want to kill him. That's what holds you back. You didn't want to kill him, and that's still true. He doesn't want to kill him, and that's why he doesn't. And then,
so now we're going to send Luke to do it.
Well, that comes up to another question. So that's what I want to ask about in just a second. And then, as far as Vader not killing Obi-Wan, he presumed that he had got the job done by putting him in the hole and burying him, right? So, but he came out of there.
The perfect time to go. Now I have the high ground.
Yeah, that came up yesterday as well. Like I have the high ground and buried him. But that whatever. It would have been fun, and that would have been a fun line. I think Rob Sketchcraft said that in Jason Ward's live stream. Like that would have been a perfect time for him to say that, and he didn't. That would have been good. But he didn't, and it's fine. I thought their battle was brilliant. I loved it. Absolutely fantastic, and it didn't leave me short of anything. So, but how do you feel about Obi-Wan letting Reva go. So the story is given to you as it's given to you. Why do you have a trouble with him letting her
now
go?
you have a hole. If they find Reva, then Reva has the ability to reveal where she went and what happened. Even if she didn't kill you know
But in
Luke,
story,
you still leave a gap for the one source for them to find out where Luke is. I mean, it's
not the one. No, there's more than one. But
it still leaves the gap. I'm not saying there's only one gap. There's many gaps.
Right,
This whole story
right.
is a gap.
Oh yeah, there always has been. So another question is then, but she had already turned. She had turned when she carries Luke out, lays him on the ground, and she's weeping, and she talks to Kenobi.
Him killing somebody who had now seen the light. I get it.
And she's completely, that's Star Wars, right? Like the redemption story is right there. Now, whether that happened, whether it was earned or not, whether it happened too quickly.
What it turns out to be is that Obi-Wan neither protected Leia nor Luke. He failed.
Well, I would disagree with that quite vehemently.
He failed.
How?
Because if they had just used simple logic, they would have sent a squadron of ships after.
Oh, come on! You got to take the story we have, not the story that you want it in your brain, right? The story we have. How did he fail?
Well, he leaves her.
He leaves her. So he leaves her on the ship under the protection of everybody else, and knowing wasn't Haja. I mean, Haja was there, but that's not who he charged with the leadership, right? The leadership was given to the other.
And Reva could have easily killed Luke. So
let's pause a second.
So simply by circumstances of luck.
No. He leaves.
He's not failed.
No.
He's not failed because of luck.
In the story,
in both cases. Luck in both cases saved him from this. Reva could have killed Luke. Boom, done. He wouldn't have done it. They could have sent the fighters, which they should have, and then boom, wouldn't have done it. Yes, exactly, Nikki. Reva saved Luke from Reva, not Obi-Wan.
All right, can I finish?
Sure.
Okay, so you asked about Leia. Leia was on the ship, and he charged the other the leader to take her home. And he stated specifically in there, he knew Vader was going to follow him. Vader did follow him. So it wasn't by luck; it was by knowledge of knowing your enemy, right? He knew who Vader was.
He already takes a shuttle by himself to go after him. He didn't even have to direct the Star Destroyer away. Didn't have to. It's all a convenience, so that they can get away. It makes no sense.
Okay, can I finish?
Sure.
Okay, so he tells him take Leia, and he does. He knows Vader will follow him, and he does. So that's not luck. And is it plot convenient? Sure. Is it story convenient? Sure. It's Star Wars. It is. That's the story they gave, and that's what happened. It wasn't your statement that he failed to protect Leia. That's not true. He did protect her. In the story we had, she was protected, and she survives because of him. He directly contributed to it by leading Vader away and then getting her to freedom. That's exactly what happened. So it's not luck, and it wasn't a failure on his part to protect Leia. He did exactly that. He rescued her when Reva had her captive, and he got her back home safely. He directly contributed to that. With Luke, did he fail? Did he fail to protect Luke? I think there's an argument that can be made within story that he did, but is that his fault? Is that his fault? Is it Obi-Wan's fault that Luke was put in harm's way. Well, there's two parts to that. One part being, well, he tried to push back against Bail in the first place, right? All the way at the beginning, he tried, and he wasn't going to do it.
So I'm going to disagree with you on the first thing where you said, because you can say what you want and that can be your logic, but I disagree with you, and I disagree with you on this one. So I mean, I don't think we're going to come to an agreement on that.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine that we disagree about it. I'm just saying that I see that it can happen within the story, in the character,
Right.
and that I don't have to accept.
I see what you're doing, and I see how you accept it, and I love you, Santa, and that's fine if you want to accept that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop you.
I don't have to accept your logic, as you don't have to accept my logic, right? So I'm just saying that a fact that he failed is not a fact. It's an opinion, and it's the logic that you apply to the story. It fails, and I get it. I'm saying when I watch the story, and I've watched the logic of the story, and I let the story tell it, then he doesn't fail. And with Luke, I think there's a borderline argument to be made there as far as the story presents it, because he was tasked with preserving Luke, and he ultimately decides to protect Leia and leave Luke in under the guard of Owen and Beru. So in that case, does he open the door there? He does. And I would say Bail Organa actually holds more of the accountability for all of that than Obi-Wan does, because Bail, first of all, would not take any other reasoning. And as I brought up when we watched it, Bail knows Ahsoka at this point. Bail is aware of Ahsoka. Bail has met with Ahsoka, and why he says Obi-Wan's the only person that he would trust. Well, yeah, Obi-Wan is perhaps a higher candidate there. But hey, Nikki, thanks for the DM. I see it. And why he didn't call in Ahsoka, and it goes back to this question we had before, that he could have absolutely had Ahsoka go instead of Obi-Wan go, but to say Obi-Wan is more powerful than Ahsoka, I think is fair. The other side of that is to say that the message he sent to Obi-Wan was a bit knuckleheaded, right? And that Bail gave away too much information in that message, and it reinforces why Leia doesn't give the information she does when she sends R2 in A New Hope. That Bail didn't have to give all the information he did. All he had to say is, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. I'm worried about what you were protecting, and that it's at risk. I'm going to go to double back and make sure everything's good." but he says, he's going to Tatooine. He's going to Owen and the boy. He didn't have to say any of that, right? So I think Bail, for me, he's the bigger problem.
Again, that's the part of your plot convenience. Everything has to fall in place to make things roll.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. If you want to take the Mishi and be, you can do that. But I just taken the story they gave. So why he lets her go? Get back to Nikki's super chat. No matter whose son, why would Obi-Wan let her go? Well, it's because she was redeemed at that point. Right? She had already forsaken. She had buried her lightsaber in the sand. Which, by the way, I think all you need is a real good metal detector and a trip to Tatooine.
I had a friend of mine. He goes, "Oh my God! All you need is a shovel and walk 5 feet and dig in Tatooine, and you'll find
there's got to be a lightsaber. Yeah, about every 5 feet. Like, I don't want this one. Put that one back and keep going because there's that many, right? Like you get your pick. Like I've seen lots of memes where of General Grievous, right? Like General Grievous, like Tatooine would have been like his, like, like that's the mother lode right there. He could have just gone to Tatooine and gotten all the lightsabers he could possibly want. So yeah, that happened as well. That's what happened as well. So,
well, I guess it answers where Luke got his crystal from.
Well, I mean, yeah, just go.
I mean, he just
pick
had to
one.
go anywhere.
Right. That's a good question. Are there more kyber crystals on Tatooine after Star Wars than there was on Ilum?
That's what I think. That's the reason why we're not on Tatooine and the sequel trilogy, because they've already mined it for all the crystals.
Oh, so good. Hey, I want to remind that the community links are there. So you guys, anytime you want to come in, they're in Patreon, they're in YouTube, and on Discord. Drop on in, say hi, give us your 2 cents on all of this. So Star Wars dog, I'm getting my metal detector. Yeah, Tatooine's the new Ilum, right? It has to be. I'm just saying. Right. Just saying. For me, the episode was a 10 out of 10. That you said that for the series you were a 5. On the episode, where were you?
Low.
Low. The chance.
Yeah, this finale cemented my disdain.
So like 5 low, 3 low.
5. Yeah, 3 low.
A 3 low.
Yeah.
I'm a 10 out of 10.
I was upset. I was like, I was watching all this stuff, and I was like, okay, they still have the last one to kind of bring it about, and then I was like.
So there's another question that ties directly into what we're talking about with Kenobi. So he comes out of the battle with Vader at the height of his power, right? Unprecedented power for Kenobi. Is there any problem with him going back into seclusion on Tatooine versus fighting the fight?
Yeah, I think there is.
And what would you propose in your version of whatever that he would do coming out of here instead of going into hiding?
I completely agree with Meg that Obi-Wan's a Mary Sue. That's exactly what. It's like my daughter exactly said the exact same thing. She said, "Ray wasn't a Mary Sue. That guy's a Mary Sue."
So what do you think he should have done? Like you get to write your story coming out of of here.
I mean, now that you have it, now it doesn't make sense. That a lot of stuff just doesn't make sense, and so there's nothing. I don't think you can fix it at this point. I mean, I don't know if I could write a story that fixes it at this point. I mean, I think it is what it is, and you just gotta like put your head down and go, "That was a bad dream."
I agree. I would not say that he is a Gary Stu.
He's not really a Gary Stu. It's to say that he's overpowered.
That's
really all it's saying.
That's just
OP actually isn't the same thing as a Gary Stu or a Mary Stu.
Amen. OP is different. And we see that a lot. We see that in, Star Wars is not unique to having OP characters. It doesn't mean they're Mary Sues or Gary Stews. They're just overpowered, right? So yeah, I'm fine with Obi-Wan's powers leveling up. It's common. It's normal. I'm fine with it, and I actually loved it. I actually loved it. And as far as him not becoming an active part of the resistance or the rebellion or whatever.
He's got to stay and protect Luke. I mean, he thinks Luke is the chosen one now, which is what Rebels made clear.
Yeah. Oh boy, hey, we do have a friend here, Kendall. How you doing, my
What's up?
friend?
What's going on, Santa? How's it going, man?
It's going well. It's going well. Getting ready to go to Florida.
Oh, dude, that's what's up. That's what's up. It sounds
Hey, I'm
like a
gonna
good
bow
trip.
out now.
Okay, we'll see you later. Take
Hey,
care.
may the force be with you all. Thank you,
Thanks so much.
guys.
See
Bye
Magic.
bye. Okay,
So
go.
so yeah, I mean, I've been going on a roller coaster these last 3, 4 weeks with the show, and I must say this finale was Star Wars wise, it was absolutely epic. Like it gave me the old crap moments that I've wanted, like pretty much the whole series. Like got a little bit up in episode 5, but this one like delivered on all of it. That point being, when we get great Star Wars stuff, at least for me, when we get great Star Wars stuff, you can overlook the BS that's in there. And Santa, I like, there was so many things that do not make sense in Episode 6. And I'm gonna be honest, like even the hello there line was cringy to me because it's like it was like forced. It felt like it was a moment where like we shot everything, but he didn't say hello there in the whole entire series. So he goes to Uncle Owen and he says we're gonna let him be a boy. Then out of nowhere, Uncle Owen is like, "Well, do you just want to say hey to him?" Like that that to me like is just completely opposite of what y'all just said. To where it's like I'm going to break apart from this, but you know what? Come speak to the boy, and we see what happens there. And I don't want to sound nitpicky, but even when it comes to Vader saying, you know what, forget the ship, go follow Kenobi, when you have 2 ships on board, like Vader gets in his own ship anyway, and he could have just let the Star Cruiser go after the path. Like that type of stuff makes the show itself subpar. Like I cannot help but say like the show itself, like just in the show itself, is just subpar. But the Star Wars stuff in it, like seeing that fight there, like that, like the dialogue between Anakin and I mean the dialogue between Vader and Kenobi, that stuff like it makes a fun experience. But I can't sit here and act like the episodes 3 and 4 didn't drain me out of it, or that like this show didn't have major plot hole issues in it, if you will. But all in all, I mean, I had to give this episode like a 7. I mean, the series like a 7 out of 10, maybe 6.5 out of 10. But it's just like I cannot just the Star Wars stuff is so fun, but it's just like, bro, you just can't overlook like the questions that you have. And even like my normie friend who's in town, he's watched it, he's been loving it. But then he comes back and asks me, he's like, "Yo, the episode was so great, but why didn't they do this? But why didn't they do that? But why didn't they
Right,
do this?" And
right,
it's like because the
right,
show writing kind of maybe just sucks. But it is what
right,
it is.
right. I watched Josh this morning. Did you watch Den of Nerds this morning?
I caught a little bit of it at work.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought that Josh did a pretty good job, and I don't have to agree with everything he says, but at the same point, like for the Star Wars side of it, just as a Star Wars fan, being a fan, it was great. If you start to put on, any kind of thinking apparatus and try to make sense of things, it starts to get threadbare, and I think that's maybe fair. I think that's maybe fair to say. Um, but it's something I had to come to terms with a long, long time ago. So, as I told a
But my
Magic
thing is,
Maker,
oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't
no,
mean to
no,
cut you off.
it's like I told him, like, I got really mad back in the prequels because of this. And so I've had to learn to take the thinking apparatus and put it in a drawer and just watch Star Wars. Right? So that's me, but that's just me.
But yeah, I mean, but it's like, shouldn't that just be a goal of Star Wars to figure that out? Like, I know if anything, that's what Star Wars has been. I get it. Like, you have, but if that's a glaring point to where it's like people are noticing it, shouldn't it be a goal of Star Wars to just fix that? Like, to be able to, why can't we get a great story? Why can't we get like a Stranger Things quality story from beginning to end, but still have our great Star Wars stuff?
I
And
think
like,
you're
I mean, honestly,
No, I agree
that's
with you. I agree with you 100%. I think that is what we should strive for. And that's why I love uh, talking about, okay, this is what I love, this is what I didn't love. And I think it can get better this way. I think absolutely we should hope for Star Wars to maybe evolve towards being a tighter story, a better written story, better plot points that, don't have as big a holes to drive through, right? I think that is a fair ask from fans.
yeah, it's and that's just what got me. I mean, and I'm a Marvel guy, and to me, it's like that's what Marvel is kind of taking a look at some of their shortcomings, like with Miss Marvel, and some of the messages they tried to go. It's been a little bit more preachy, and this newer stuff doesn't seem as preachy. It's just more of a listening to fans type thing. So I hope Star Wars does. Like, I don't think they have that issue, if you will. Like, I think they handled like the threat of Reva being like a woke character, that type. Like, I think they handled that pretty well, and it was like that died down because of the result of what people were seeing. But it's just, you got to just be able to grow and get better with it. But I mean, all in all, like I said, I think it's a 7. But it shouldn't have been a Kenobi show. Shouldn't be that low, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So
It
you
shouldn't
say
be
like
a 7.
a 6.5, 7 on the finale,
Yeah.
or on the whole
On the
series?
series as a whole.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly, if the finale wasn't so good, this might have been a 5 or a 6 for me. I mean, they nailed that finale, which really bumps it up. But then again, it's like I went back and watched episode 3 with my wife, and it was so cool. Like, it felt good, but then you get to the part with the fight, and then it's like, bruh, it's just that stuff that drags it down. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can just tighten it up and get better along with it. But I appreciate you being allowing us to come and spew it out and to get it out. But
Thanks,
hopefully
Kendall.
it's better.
No, yeah, I hope that we do better as well, because I think the fandom deserves it, and that in order for us to grow going forward, we need that to evolve. And I've said this before. I think when Lucas left, he didn't have an infrastructure in place that led to strong storytelling by other writers. He was the writer, right? Like, there was the George Lucas canon that he wrote, and he didn't even stick firm to, the rules of storytelling that way, right? He allowed powers to develop before, like, doing things out of sequence, because he was telling his story the way he wanted. But now going forward with what the fandom has grown to want, and I say deserve, Lucasfilm never had that infrastructure. They don't have the kind of pieces in place to do that. But I think they're growing, right? I think they're getting there. Like,
But I think they do now.
yeah,
Like,
I think it's coming.
if you don't make I know these are our only last 2 pieces of content was Book of Boba and Kenobi. But
Yeah.
if you don't make those 2 and you just continue on with the Mandoverse and you bump up Ahsoka and like you continue moving forward in that line of things, like Star Wars will be in a much different place, because there's none. I don't know if I just missed it, but I didn't see any of this talk when Mando season 1 or season 2 was going on, even when Bad Batch was going. So it's like continue to move forward. Like,
Yeah.
no Kenobi season 2. Like, leave that on the shelf. As much as I would like to see Mace in like some old Tales of the Jedi, at this point I'm like, maybe not. If you want to go do old Tales of the Jedi, go back to people that's before anybody that we've ever seen on screen.
But
Like,
but can we put Mace in?
just move forward.
Can we put Mace in the Book of Boba Fett? I mean, not Book of Boba Fett. Can we put him into Mandalorian? Can we have Mace live?
If John and Dave are doing it, yeah. If
Okay.
if John and Dave are writing that episode, like have their hands on that episode, yeah. But
Okay.
they're not, like,
Yeah, I just want to make
I don't
sure.
have faith. Yeah, I don't have faith in it. But like, it's moving forward. Like, you don't forget the past. You just move forward.
I agree.
You
I
move
agree,
forward by it.
and I think George created enough of inconsistencies as far as like storyline through point that is a tough time to write within. And I agree with you. I think if we would stick more with, say, Mandalorian or Ahsoka or post sequels, that there's less of these kind of problems to kind of work within, because you can always find something that doesn't line up, because that storyline as a whole, in my opinion, is already kind of laced with problems.
And before I go, I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
What is, at this point, like after everything we've gone through from episode 1 to now, do you think that Kenobi was worth the trouble of being made? Like, do you think it was worth it with the fandom, with everything else that's going on, regardless of your enjoyment? Do you think it's worth it?
I think so. In a large stroke, the bulk of the feedback I've seen on Twitter, and this is a question I've been asking, and get your opinion as well. Bulk of the opinion I've seen on Twitter has been very positive for Kenobi. Very, like, well over, and Sheev says maybe 80%. For me, it's well over 80%. What kind of feed are you seeing as far as
I mean,
being
I'm not seeing the Twitter feed. I'm seeing like comments and more so,
okay.
and that's more about probably circle of what you're in. But like
Yeah,
even even in here, like you have a more general positive vibe on stuff. But it's
yeah,
more. I'm still seeing that. Um, I'm still seeing that type of maybe split down the road, or even just
hmm
tension to where people are talking about the quality of the show instead of what's dope about it.
yeah.
Talking about Star Wars issues.
So
So for me, I don't think I don't think it was worth, especially to go for a Kenobi. Now, if an Andor series did this, that's maybe I would understand it, and I don't anticipate Andor doing that. But to make a Kenobi series,
let me
like it's
ask a follow
just
up. Do you think that Kenobi will age well? Do you think it will? People will warm up to it over time.
no, I don't because when you rewatch stuff, you start to notice things. So like I think when the people who are very positive on it, and not saying everybody, but a lot of like normies who are very positive on it,
Hmm.
would then go back and watch it and start seeing like, wait a minute, you're telling me that they snuck out Leia in a coat jacket in the higher level security office? They're like, wait a minute, you're telling me that Vader just put out this fire one time but can't put it out a second time? Like though, like I think they will start to notice. You just start to see it more. Now that's just my take. Like I said, it was moments like when Vader was out there in Episode 3 and he was choking the kid, he was choking the dad. That hit pretty good on rewatch, but the negatives of the show on rewatches have been more like kind of cringy for me than like it's gotten better. So I don't know. I think if people watch it and it's like the all factor of what happened with the Star Wars stuff wears off, then it's not as good of a show for them.
Well, that's
But
really what I was wondering because, like, after 5 and 6 came out, like in the future will just see the whole thing there, right?
mm,
So next year, 2 years, 3 years from now, when people turn on Disney Plus and they see this for the first time and they can just watch the whole thing through. So that was really my question. You answered it wonderfully. Good job.
yeah. And by the way, too, shout out to Uncle Owen. Like I have much more respect for Uncle Owen and Baru after this series. Like I
Yeah.
I feel for them so much more. Like they and then for them to get charred in the original trilogy, it was just like I feel for them more. So shout
Yeah.
out to them. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so too. I thought one thing that I did think Kenobi did well, and one reason I think people will warm up to it is a nice bridge between prequels and original trilogy. And for original trilogy stands like me, I found things that I really enjoyed, and I know for my friends Meg and Sheev, as prequel fans, they found things that hit their nostalgia buttons. So for me, I think this is going to do a really, really good job of bridging the two, and I think people will warm up to it. That's my opinion, though. I could be wrong. I've been wrong lots of times. Ask my wife; she'll tell you. Like, I'm wrong all the time. So it's absolutely possible. So the other thing I wanted to address here and is the worries that and I posted this on all the discords. The worries that Leia would know Obi-Wan and Ben is the same guy, but that's in the original trilogy. That's in A New Hope. In A New Hope, she knows that already, and I think this did a good job of explaining how she knows that already. Some of the fan discussion has been about she shouldn't know. But if you go back and rewatch A New Hope, you'll see that she does know already. And so it still raises one question, but I think that's answered in this as well. But she already knows that he's been when Luke comes and rescues her from the Death Star. Meg, she already knows that. And she already knows he's Obi-Wan because she sends that out in R2, the message, Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? You're our only hope. And then in the Death Star, when Luke frees her, aren't you short for a stormtrooper? He says, I've got your R2 unit. And Ben Kenobi, she says, Ben Kenobi, where? Let's go. And so she already knows that. And I think that helps cover it. Kendall, your phone died. Okay, well, hey, I loved the discussion. Thank you so much for dropping in. I muted myself. She didn't react when he passed. There's a couple of things as far as her reaction, and some of it's been memed. So, like Meg said, I agree about Leia, but she didn't react when he passed. When Alderaan was blown up, Obi-Wan reacted more than Leia did, and she moves past that trauma very quickly, and so that's been memed quite a bit for a very long time. And there are issues going back to the original trilogy and how that was written, because I mean her story evolved as the movies came out. But yeah, she didn't react as much when he reacted, but when he died. But there's another cool point that I think is actually made better when Obi-Wan and Vader are dueling on the Death Star, and he sees them run out, and he sees Luke and Leia there together. He smiles. He smiles, and then like there's another context to that. When he looks over and sees the brother and sister together, and he smiles, like that's made more special because he sees them reunited, right? And the prequels did that. And the Kenobi series did that. I love now that scene has more meaning, and there's several parts of A New Hope now that have more meaning. Kenobi calling Vader Darth, for example. I thought this did a great job of kind of setting a lot of that stuff up. So there's good. Hey, thanks, AG. Aggressively relaxing. Good to see you here. Let's see. Kendall, did Kenobi use emotional attachment to force lift the rocks? The ones that were on top of him, for sure, right? Because he's remembering back about Leia. Can we also? I think I've seen universal praise for that young girl that played Leia, Vivian. Oh my goodness, her star is bright. Vivian's star is bright. She has. She's wrapped around my little like my heart. She could do anything. I would watch with her. She is brilliant. Yeah, she's got me wrapped around her little finger. Like she's absolutely beautiful. The kid's acting is absolutely wonderful. Like I loved her. She killed Leia's role. She absolutely did. She is. There's a couple of bright spots coming out of Kenobi that I think a lot of people can universally praise. One is Vivian, and I saw this. Where was it? Back up here. Where is it? Somebody said, the chat jumped on me, so I'm just trying to get back to where it was. There it is. Jedi Mike, Young Actor Award. She should absolutely win awards. Like, as Best Supporting Actress, give it to her. I like, tell me who is a better supporting actor in Kenobi than Vivian. Like, I think that Ewan nailed the lead actor role. Who's a better supporting actress or actor in Kenobi than Vivian? I got nothing. I got nothing. Vivian should win Best Supporting Actress, hands down. And I'll apply that to Stranger Things. I'll apply it to any other show that I've seen to date. Vivian, she gets for me. Moses, Left Coast Graphics. Moses, I don't know that I would. You think Moses' performance was better than Vivian's? I mean, Moses, I thought, did a great job, but I give it to Vivian. In the two, my vote goes with Vivian all day. So there is that. So there have been a couple of questions, and I've been avoiding it only because I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole that I've covered before. So let me talk about the prequels for just a minute. The question keeps coming up. We have folks here that have not been with the channel for long. Other people have been around long. They've heard me yammer on about the prequels before, and it's a tired argument, but and they're not here for it. So I'll talk about it in just a second. But I want to do the Mike Porter dad joke before we let that get away. Right before some of you check out and say, "No, Santa, no more sequel, no more prequel hate. I'm done." Right before that happens, let's do this. Mike Porter dad joke. What do you call a guy who doesn't want to wear formal clothes? What do you call a guy that doesn't want to wear formal clothes? A TIE fighter. Oh, Mike Porter, that's a good one. You know, I just went, not to make too much light of it, but Kev Z says, me. You call him me. Hey, X-Wing. Oh, my goodness, my friend. No, I was asked a couple of questions earlier. I went to my uncle's funeral this past weekend, Saturday, and he was an iron worker and in Columbus, Ohio, building things that steel. And the Iron Workers Union showed up to commemorate him, right? To honor him and present a gift to the family. And there was, you want to see some TIE fighters? Look at Iron Worker Union members. Oh, they're TIE fighters. The one dude's tie was a hot mess. Like, just take it off. Just like, you're not going to offend anybody. That tie is not working for you. Just get rid of it. So, oh my goodness. Hey, Jedi Mike, Steelworkers in Gary, Indiana. There's a song, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Yeah, I've been to Gary, Indiana. Very good. It's me. I used to date a TIE fighter. There's that kind of TIE fighter. Mike Porter will have to put that into his joke, right? He'll have to put that in. No, X-Wing and I, we're trying to arrange a time to live stream together. A good friend. We want to spend some time chatting about the Kenobi series and talk about what's coming. And I'm really anxious. The one question that I had is for the folks in X-Wing. Are you available, X-Wing? Can I get you on for a moment, like right now? I know that you're probably working. You probably have limited availability, but I want to ask you a question, just one question, and we can have a deeper discussion later. If you're available, click on the link. I just sent it to you in Discord. Meg, you behave. I want to talk to X-Wing. I have a really good question for him, and I'm dying to hear him talk about it. So, I think he already has, but I want to bring it in here. So, if you're available, he says, "Okay, give me 2 seconds." Okay, thanks, X-Wing. So, and the question, and I know he'll be here in just a moment, so I'll go ahead and ask it in the chat. For anybody that had that your expectations weren't met going into Kenobi, and you've had 2 series in a row now that kind of fell short of your hopes, dreams, expectations, Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, has that affected at all your enthusiasm going into Andor? And the reason I say that is I think, and I just saw an article this morning that said Kenobi's still leading in live streaming. Like, it's still number one, doing tremendously well in viewer numbers. And it's I think overall being received very positively. If you look on IMDb and the reviews there and other places, you can see there's a big amount of people who enjoyed it. And I think that's going to bode well for Andor from just like normies, from fans who have enjoyed, especially Kenobi. For me, Kenobi's better than Book of Boba Fett. And that's not true for everybody, but for me. So, Meg, you're absolutely brilliant. It says, Santa, it just worked out why you like everything Disney Star Wars. When you watch the shows, what are you on and what quantity? Well, Meg, it's Mio Energy and a lot. What quantity? A lot. Hey, my friend, how are you?
How's it going?
It's going well. It's great to see you. Hey, so did you hear the question I was just asking?
No, I
Okay.
was booting up my computer.
No, we're good. We're good. So the question was, coming out of two, say, disappointing shows, especially for you, but for anybody that say Book of Boba Fett fell short of your hopes, dreams, aspirations, expectations, followed by Kenobi falling short. And again, mileage may vary. Right? People may be more upset at one than the other based on your level of expectation. Like if your bar is really high and it comes in at the same level, that gap, right? We were talking about that variance is going to cause you more
Right.
problem than if your expectations are low and it comes in low, right? Then you might like, oh, it was fine,
Right.
right? But so coming
Yeah.
out of two in a row, Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, and you specifically, and people that you share kind of thoughts with, has that affected your anticipation of Andor? Is it in any way affecting your excitement or optimism for the future of Star Wars on Disney Plus?
Um, to a small degree, yes, I would say. To a small degree, my expectations for Star Wars are always going to be super high. I'm a Star Wars fan. Like, I want to see good Star Wars content. You know what I mean? And I will never lower my bar so that I feel more accepting of other content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of it affecting my excitement for it, no, not at all. I'm super pumped for Andor. In fact, I'm more hopeful for Andor than I was for Kenobi, and that feeling has kind of stayed the same throughout the show. You get a lot of well, you already weren't going to like it going into it, and I was like, well, I already know what I already knew what the whole show was.
Oh, you muted yourself. Oh, you've had this problem. I've seen your live streams, or you have this here. Yeah. Talky, but no soundy. Oh my goodness! I'll let you get that. Oh, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So I forgot what I was saying. Anyway.
Sorry about that. No, your excitement is quite high for Andor. So your expectations, like you said, you were talking about the already knowing the story before, right? So Jason Ward's leaks, all of that. So you're what I was thinking is you were saying that you're able to compartmentalize each show.
Yeah. I mean, to a degree, there's definitely a little bit of fatigue because there are two that have not really landed for me. Book of Boba Fett was just kind of funny to me. I didn't think that they were really going to nail it, so I wasn't that surprised. But Obi-Wan was definitely a little bit more of a dig for me. That one hurt a little bit. So,
yeah,
but
I could see
onward
that.
and upward,
I could see the wind being taken out of your sails, and it hurt me as a friend of yours. Right? Anytime you see a friend who's grieving or just sad or anything, right? You want to help. And I'm like, man, that dude is hurting, and that hurts me just as a friend, right? Just because I love you so much, right? And you're a good friend, you're a good member of the community, and like I don't want you to hurt. And at the same time, you were very consistent saying, I want to like this. I'm trying hard, right? I'm trying hard.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, you weren't able to. And I don't want to dig too deep today. I do want to come back to this discussion, and you and I have a full-blown talk about this.
Let's do that, because I have to rip. I have to get back to work.
Okay, I'll let you go. I just want to. I'll plant the seed now, and we can come back to it. Okay. So the seed
sounds good.
Is what do you think's at the root of it, right? So we'll come back to that, but meaning, when this displeasure happens, is it because your expectations are so high and it can't achieve? Is it because your expectations are, is it even due to expectation? Or is there something more deeply seated behind that? I'm curious about that, rather than some of the particulars where say, oh, I don't like that the Vespa was slow, or I don't like that this or that, right? Versus those kind of, because we can all chat about those kind of things. But there's something I think, at least it's my theory, that's that's deeper seated, that's at the root of it. And if we could understand that better, I think that would be a great conversation to have. All right.
That's a good talk. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll be back.
Well, God bless you. Thanks so
All right.
much, X-Wing. Take it easy, my friend.
Yeah. See
All
you.
right. Thanks. It says the one thing the show, the writers and young Leia nailed was the direction of the Leia character to the Rebel Alliance going forward. I loved young Leia. Oh, me too, Mike Porter. I think they absolutely nailed that character in every possible way. Like perfection. Take away, I say that, and then at the same time, I go back and think about the running scenes, right? Maybe don't have running scenes with a young child running away from full-grown adults. Maybe don't do that. Outside of that, I thought it was really good. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, why am I getting in trouble now? Why am I getting in trouble now? I'll tell you something else. I caught Meg's Patreon only chat yesterday with Sheev, and both of you are very naughty, very naughty. Both of you are very filthy minded. You both should go to church and repent. I'm just saying. I can't. I love both of you so much, and we have a great community here. Bloodline Disney Plus show now, please. Yes, Jedi Mike. Where do I vote? Where do I vote? Oh my goodness, a young Leia Disney Plus show now. Oh, okay. So we are going to go back to here. Star Wars Dog asked a question. I'll go back to my issues with the prequels. So if you guys have heard this before, I appreciate your support. Please do all the the YouTube social stuff, right? Like, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff that you're compelled to say as a YouTube content creator. Make sure you do all of that. Oh no, yeah. The prequels. What kind of problems did it cause for me? I grew up. In '77, I saw Star Wars, the first movie I remember, and for a long time, I was excited to see another Star Wars movie come out. Phantom Menace came out, and it was a show that I was excited to see, and I defended it amongst many of my friends who hated it. I was an adult at the time, and I had a child already. And to me, it was just Star Wars, and I was super excited for it. Where the wheels started to come off for me is in Attack of the Clones, and similar to like I saw X-Wing complain about the T-47s like hovering and all being kind of wonky. When astromech droids could fly, that broke it for me, right? I really didn't like that, and I really didn't like that, and it caused all kinds of problems with these questions. Like, well, then why didn't R2 fly here or here or here or here in the original trilogy? And that's never answered. Well, maybe the Jawas. One of the best explanations I saw came from. X-Wing. He was even better looking when he had the stash. The stash is the thing that really sets it off. But there's the best Thor Skywalker's wife, Sailor Dabu, said maybe the Jawas took them off in the Sandcrawler and they just never got them fixed, right? But you have to come up with some sort of mental gymnastics to make that work. I hated that they changed the astromech droids. I hated the whole the whole bit of the droid factory and C-3PO and his head getting bonked around, and when his head gets replaced on another droid, then they have mixed like die Jedi scum. What am I saying? Like none of that made any sense to me, and I hated it. I also was not a fan of a lot of the the clunky dialogue. But look, that's George Lucas. What are you going to do? It's always funny. It's like George Lucas could write these things, but he doesn't have to say them, right? So there's a lot of that. It's just fun, right? But at the same time, I hated it. I was in the wrong place mentally to accept it, and it just wasn't something that I ever fell in love with. The other big part of this prequels for me is they never made me care for Anakin's character. The best Anakin for me in the prequel trilogy is Phantom Menace, right? Young Annie is the best of the Anakin Skywalker, the one that I liked the most. I didn't like Anakin at all in Attack of the Clones. Annoying, like, and in your head, like a lot of the complaints that have come here from Kenobi, I know where he's going. I know where he's going. I know he's Vader. I already know that. But I don't like him already. And he's going to be a bad guy. I don't like this guy. He's going to be a bad guy. So his fall is meaningless to me, right? Completely meaningless. It couldn't be more meaningless. It just has no attachment to me at all. As a kid, I was always more the goody two-shoes guy, right? I was the guy that empathized for others, who wanted to help others, but was weak, and I got bullied, I got beat up. I was never the defender of anybody. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the hero. I loved Superman, right? I loved those kind of characters that stood for truth, justice, and right? And Anakin was none of that, and I didn't like him at all. And then when we get to the whole murdering the Tuscans and Padme is just like, oh, it's okay, I'll get you a hug. That didn't play for me well then. It still doesn't play for me well now. And I understand, look, I spent a lot of time trying to reconcile all of this, and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos like The Theory. My friend Meg is brilliant. She's a lovely, lovely person, and I love her so deeply. And she's helped me a long way in that. Sheev, also a prequel fan, has helped me tremendously. Being around prequel fans and just seeing their love for it has helped me. Even though I don't share their love, it's given me a different appreciation. Same for my friend X-Wing that we just talked with. He loves the prequels, and just being around them makes me feel better about it. You got to remember, I was around a bunch of old grumpy farts like me, right? So Rev Kev is another good friend of mine, and he's also not a prequel fan. And our friends over at EBN still have trouble with it. So some of us that are like old cranky farts, really, we still haven't come to full terms with it. But being around these people have helped. So for me, a lot of those are the reasons that I still don't love the prequels. Anakin's character in in Revenge of the Sith is better. Certainly the battle that between Anakin and Obi-Wan is the highlight of the movie. But then they go and ruin the ending by having Padme die of sadness. Again, just annoys the daylights out of me. It's just annoying. So I can't get past a lot of that. It's still some of the problems I have with the prequels. But again, I've come to some more appreciation of it. The Clone Wars animated series did help because I like that Anakin better than the one in Attack of the Clones or in the Revenge of the Sith. So that's helped me a lot. There's all that. All right, so there's some of my reasoning, and I apologize for some of you that are tired of hearing me do this. I appreciate you sticking with me. So thank you that so much, Meg. You might enjoy Marvel. Well, I get in trouble with my Marvel fans too because I don't have the same passion, and my hot takes on Marvel get me in lots of trouble. I don't need more trouble, so I'm not going to go there. Oh, you guys are the best. You're absolutely the best. I saw X-Wing. I saw your comment above there. This is exactly what I had. Look, I never saw you as a clickbaiter. I have some thoughts. I would love to sit and visit with you. Not to, I don't want to kind of send anything out there into the YouTube space that could be misread. So I would talk to you personally about it, but not other things. Let's see. Episodes of when's your last rewatch? Last rewatch of the prequels, dog. It's been maybe 2 months ago. My youngest daughter, Kayla, who's been a supporter here. Many of you have met her. Kayla, she loves the prequels more than the original trilogy, and she makes me keep watching them. Hey, Dad, let's sit down and watch Star Wars. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, where are we going to start? Phantom Menace. I'm like, here we go. And so we watch them. We get through the prequels, and she's like, okay, I got to go. And then she leaves, and then we don't finish watching Star Wars. So then, 3 or 4 months later, she said, hey, Dad, let's watch Star Wars. Great. We're going to pick up. No, I think we need to start over again. So she makes me watch them over and over and over. Prequels, God bless her. But that's what the deal there is. Baymax, you're another just troubles. You're pot stirrer. You're getting. I look. I like Coach a lot. He's a good guy. I don't agree with a lot of his stuff, but he's a good guy. I'll never believe Padme died of a broken heart. Palps drained the life force. I'm with you, Kay. That's my look. That's that's my headcanon, and I'm sticking with it until something else is done. But that's where I have to be from it. Yes, Star Wars Meg is a cheeky git. She is cheeky. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dying of sadness makes as much sense as surviving a lightsaber through your abdomen twice. Well, it's only through once. The second time was the mod. She got stabbed through the mod. So, doesn't. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. Let's see. Let's keep going. Sketchcraft. Hey, what's up, Sketchcraft? Oh my goodness, Rob. Good to see you, my friend. And one of my favorite things is to watch Rob impersonate me on Jason's live streams. I don't even need to go on Jason's live streams. I could just watch me as Rob impersonates me. He does a brilliant Star Wars Santa impersonation. It's fun. It's fun. Let's see. Some other folks here. Meg, your daughter's based. I don't know what that means, Meg. I'm too old. I don't know what that means. My goodness. Dawn, yeah, dying of a broken heart is a fact. It is a reality. We just saw it here in the United States where the mom was killed in that school shooting. The dad dies just a couple of days later. It happens all the time. The issue I have with Padme dying of a broken heart is that she just had 2 children. Normally, the love a mom has for their daughter would be that amount of strength would come from that to make up some for the broken heart. And in fact, what happens a lot of times is a parent will continue to live because of the children, right? Like something tragic will happen in their lives, or something really what's the word? Like a major accident or incident will happen that causes them a lot of bodily harm. They'll survive that tragedy through in that trauma because of the love for their children. And Padme apparently just doesn't love Luke and Leia. Although Leia said to Luke when he asked, "Do you remember your mom, your real mom?" It's nonsense. I hate it. But you guys get me going again. You get me going again. Look at that. Vader's lair. Your daughter, you have raised her well. Well, she keeps making me watch it. Daggone it. Oh my goodness. But Dawn, my 30-year-old does that with me too. She loves them. Original trilogy is so good. Look, that's my go-to all the time. That's my go-to all the time. Well, thank you for asking, Star Wars Dog. I appreciate the question. Broken Heart's acceptable. Look, yeah, you can't trust anyone that says Rise of Skywalker is better than Empire. That's true, but when somebody says Rise of Skywalker is better than Revenge of the Sith, then that's me. That's me. But and I'm on an island of one. I think I'm the only person on the planet, the only person on the entire planet that doesn't like Revenge of the Sith as well. Like for me, you have all of the original trilogy, all of the sequel trilogy, all of the anthology movies, so Solo, Rogue One, all of the Star Wars, the new Disney Plus series, then Revenge of the Sith. But that's me. I'm on an island of one. I'm okay. You can hate me for that. That's fine. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, that gets me hazed from my friend Meg. Meg hazes me all the time about my opinions. What she loves to say about me is that she and Sheev and most Star Wars fans, they like good Star Wars. That's what makes them different from me, right? F in the chat for Santa. Look, Meg just loves to zing me every time she can. She says, Santa, you know what's different. You like the sequels, but I like good Star Wars. That's what she'll say. I appreciate you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I've got some running to do today. I've got some things to get done as we get ready to go on vacation. I love you all so much. I woke up this morning in an odd mood. I didn't want to get going. Didn't want to get out of bed. Didn't want to do anything. But spending time with you has brought a lot of joy and happiness. I've had so much fun. Have I read the Darth Bane books? I have not read those yet, Star Wars Dog. I'm aware of them, but I just haven't got around to them yet. So appreciate that. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, if we get the chance, Star Wars Meg and I will get a chat. And if you'd like to see her embarrass me, make me look bad, just make me look dumb, come catch us tomorrow. Star Wars Meg and I will do our weekly live stream. And that will kick off my vacation. Coming out of that, and then I'll go mow the lawn and get ready and pack up the fifth wheel, and we'll be heading off. So you guys have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. And until next time, my friends, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.
Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa Show. He can feel your presence. So join the chat, loosen up and have some